It's another very Charlie Kirk-centric day, all three videos on the day. I guess I'm spoiling a little bit for the next one, but the first one, obviously, we were going through the Destiny and the Hassan stuff because that was fairly significant over the weekend and over the past 5-ish days since that stuff really kicked off. But now we got to talk about something, I guess, sort of in entertainment as well, because then you got just a couple of, I don't know, washed up has-beens at this point in time. There was one that you could say probably had a little bit more prominence than the other. But at this point in time, I think we can fairly equally say the relevance of Rosie O'Donnell and Stephen King is about equal. In regards to relevance with the common man, because Rosie O'Donnell repeats a debunked smear of Charlie Kirk that even Stephen King, after he got community noted, had to walk back. Yes, Rosie O'Donnell is no stranger to controversy, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. And, okay, for all of the left-wing idiots that we're just going to go ahead and take down between now and, for a very long time at this point in time, the ones that we're going to be highlighting, I can at least understand Rosie O'Donnell's unhinged hatred of Donald Trump, because that is a rivalry that has gone back pre-politics, pre-Apprentice. It's like this is just OG hatred. And so, Rosie, get a little bit of leeway, okay? You're a nutcase, you're totally irrelevant, but hey, I understand where your hatred is coming from. Our latest social media activity crosses into dangerous territory. Just days after the tragic assassination of Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk, Rosie O'Donnell chose to amplify a claim that has already been proven false. Okay, which one? Okay. Charlie Kirk falsehood spread by Rosie O'Donnell traces back to September 12th, when Stephen King posted on X that Kirk had advocated stoning gay people to death. Oh, Christ. The allegation quickly spread online, fueling outrage, but it wasn't long before fact-checkers and critics pointed out that King had misunderstood Kirk's words. King ultimately admitted his error, deleted the post, and issued a public apology. The horrible, evil, twisted liar apologizes. Yes, this is what I get for reading something on Twitter without fact-checking it. Won't happen again. Not apologize for demeaning somebody's memory or just falsely characterizing them as somebody who would advocate for for violence against gay people. I'm just sorry I got caught. But then Rosie over on Instagram thinks that she really got really got a gotcha on this one. Instead of correcting the record, Rosie O'Donnell reposted a meme to her Instagram story claiming Charlie Kirk advocated stoning gays to death, just saying he did say it, unfortunately. Did he really? In doing so, O'Donnell, repeated the very lie that King himself retracted, and even didn't stop there. Other posts accused Kirk of being anti-woman, anti-children, anti-abortion, anti-minorities, anti-Muslim, anti-humanity, anti-empathy, fucking lol, anti-immigrants, anti-whatever we're doing with the alphabet soup, anti-planet, anti-Palestine, anti-black, pro-genocide. Interesting. Yeah, but what was the actual context behind what Kirk said? The original moment, that gave rise to this falsehood came when Kirk responded to a progressive commentator quoting Leviticus to support pride events. Kirk pushed back and pointing out that the same biblical text also, prescribed stoning as punishment. His point was not to endorse stoning, but to show the hypocrisy of cherry-picking scripture for political convenience. Yeah, exactly. That's why I hate whenever anybody, whether it's on the conservative or on the liberal side, they want to go ahead and cite my book, my holy words. Yeah, it's always cringe. It's always disingenuous. And it just also shows you that you don't really have a factual argument at hand. You're just trying to appeal to an emotional one by trying to, leverage your opposition's religious stance against your, more than likely, atheistic approach if we're going to keep it a buck. But because Stephen King has been roped into this, it's probably important to highlight what he's been up to. Stephen King movie. Oh, The Long Walk. Yeah, right, because that was one of the few movies that debuted this weekend during this absolute desert at the theaters. Between now and the end of the year, you've got Tron Ares, which I don't see any hype for at all whatsoever, and that's coming out in about a month. But I guess you got Zootopia 2 and Avatar 3. That's it. Nothing else. It is a slog in media right now. So yeah, if you were to have something with a little bit of notoriety, something with an interesting premise come along, you would think that, it would have a decent opportunity to succeed. And yeah, you got a Stephen King movie, a Stephen King adaptation. Okay. And he's been adapted to great success throughout the years. The Green Mile, The Shining, as much as he hates the movie, It, several different times over, Maximum Overdrive. Oh, hell yeah. Shawshank Redemption, like the list goes on and on. I think he's a scummy individual, but he obviously has talent. But I kind of think his name doesn't really carry that much cachet anymore. Kind of like the guy he has starring in the film that we talked about over the weekend as well, Mark Hamill. They're more of a detriment being attached to a project at this point in time than they are in fact a boon, because Stephen King movie The Long Walk flops. It tried to put walk and flops together. But I guess if that was the case, we would be talking about a very tall Italian. At the box office, after author caught spreading, yes, Charlie Kirk, misinformation. Author Stephen King may be facing professional consequences after spreading misinformation about Charlie Kirk. Stephen King made headlines this past week, but not for his writing. Yes, of course, his Mastonin gay people comments. The backlash was swift. Senator Ted Cruz blasted King for spreading such a falsehood, reminding Americans that Kirk never called for violence against anybody. No, but he's a bigot and he's a racist, even though all of the black people that worked at Turning Point USA, and the fact that, legitimate people around him, I find this very interesting, right? I find it very interesting in the wake of this guy's passing. Like, nobody has any tangible qualms with Charlie Kirk. You got all of these leftists that are out there trying to say, oh my God, he was such a bad guy. Oh, he advocated for stoning of gays. He was anti anybody who wasn't a straight white male, anybody who wasn't a straight white conservative. But the reality is, it's like, this is the guy who crossed the street at every crossing walk. He was a guy who would always leave a penny at the take a penny, leave a penny dish. He was as white bread, 2% milk, God-fearing, America-loving, great guy that you could possibly get. And they killed him. Like, I still can't summarize it any better than simply, they killed Charlie Kirk. It's like, of all the people, man, like, he is, unironically, and I've seen it said by a lot of people out there, he was the best of us. He really was. Like, he was the perfect embodiment of all of those conservative ideals, and he was living the dream, man. A loving wife, a young growing family, adored by millions, was making tangible, practical change in the world and going about it the right way, and they killed him for it. And it really still hasn't sunk in, because I can rationalize it. I can try to see it from the other way, but it still doesn't make sense at all whatsoever. Yeah, as Jesse Waters has it, Charlie Kirk was not controversial, not polarizing. He was a patriot. Yeah, and just a good man. And then you got the likes of Rosie O'Donnell, Stephen King, and so many other people that are out there. And well, perhaps the long walk would have been successful if you would have put another child orgy in it, Stephen. Hey, because that's one of your favorite tropes that you like to put in your fucking stories, you creep. But yeah, you take a look, okay? It didn't perform that well at the box office. Well, how badly did it perform? $12 million on the opening weekend. Fucking oof. And to be completely honest, man, like, it'll probably, due to the fact that it only cost $20 million, like, it'll probably turn a profit, maybe, potentially, because given the fact that, like, the weekend box office, it came in 4th place with $11 million. It does have 2,800 theaters. Nothing's really on the horizon to knock it off, but even still, right? Because I need to go to IMDb moving forward, because Rotten Tomatoes is just such a shitty way to go ahead and gauge interest on something. But it's also, like, I don't even know if it's gonna make money, okay? Because it would have to make what, like $45-50 million in order to break even, and a 7.5 on IMDb, that's not great. Okay, and it's not like it's getting review bombed or anything like that, and this is a reason why, yeah, using IMDb moving forward is probably the way to go. But yeah, you have some people that have it at a 1, okay, but you have more people putting it at a 9 and a 10 than anything else. But for the most, it's like, for normies, like a 6, 7, and 8, that's average, okay, and average doesn't get people to the box office. So yeah, this one is pretty much doomed, and especially if, you got any more animes or re-releases to come out, because Toy Story coming back into theaters and getting 3 bills, a Demon Slayer movie pulling in $70 million. Christ almighty, more than 5 times what The Long Walk made. It just kind of lets you know that when you're really on the wrong side of the zeitgeist, because of the liberals, they knew that they had society in the palm of their hands for so long, but the moment that they start to overstep and do such fuck shit, like shit on the legacy of a good man, it really seems like that's the point in time where normies start to wake up and they start to turn on all of this shit that has been shoveled in our gullet for years at this point in time. Really was a flashpoint. Really was, for lack of a better term, a turning point for society. And moving forward, well, it's going to be interesting to see, because I've also seen, as you have as well, seen a lot of people face repercussions from different walks of life. Obviously, we talked about streamers and that side of the world with the first video of the day. Here we're talking about Hollywood. And in the next one, well, we're going to talk about what pound for pound, dollar for dollar, to me, is probably the most radical industry that's out there. But I don't want to tip my hand too much. Just swing by in about a couple hours and we'll dissect the most corrupt of entertainment industries. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.